Welcome back to Madrid Pulse, your trusted source for all things Real Madrid. If you're a die-hard Madridista or just a football enthusiast, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss any updates on transfers, tactics, and behind-the-scenes stories from the Santiago Bernabeu. In today's report, we dive deep into Real Madrid's growing interest in Manchester City's midfield maestro, Rodri Hernandez, and how a blockbuster deal could reshape Los Blancos midfield for years to come. At the moment, Real Madrid find themselves in a tricky position. Due to a full squad and financial balancing, they are unable to make new signings unless at least one first-team player is sold. However, the club's leadership is actively exploring creative options to overcome this hurdle, one of which involves including current squad members in potential swap deals. And their top target? None other than Rodri, the midfield general who has been instrumental in Manchester City's recent dominance under Pep Guardiola. Rodri's profile fits exactly what Real Madrid are looking for. The absence of Toni Kroos, who retired in 2024, has left a glaring hole in the midfield. Despite the talents of players like Federico Valverde, Aurelien Tchouameni, and Eduardo Camavinga, there's been a noticeable lack of composure, control, and experience in deep midfield areas. These problems were once again highlighted during the Club World Cup semi-final earlier this summer, where Xabi Alonso's Real Madrid side were dismantled 4-0 by Paris Saint-Germain. The defeat didn't just expose tactical flaws, it underscored the lack of a true midfield anchor who can dictate tempo and protect the backline. This is precisely where Rodri comes in. The 29-year-old Spaniard is widely regarded as one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. After missing a large portion of the previous season due to an ACL injury suffered last September, Rodri returned to action just in time for the Club World Cup. His performances there caught the eye of Real Madrid scouts, who have now added him to the top of their transfer wishlist. According to reports from Caught Offside, Real Madrid are preparing a players plus cash offer to lure Rodri to the Spanish capital. The proposed deal would include Eduardo Camavinga and Rodrigo Goes, two players with high market value and significant potential, alongside a cash sum of $40 million. It's an aggressive move, designed to both secure a world-class midfielder and free up space in the squad for further signings. However, Manchester City's stance on Rodri is uncompromising. The Premier League champions have made it crystal clear that they are not open to negotiating any offers for the player this summer. Rodri remains a central figure in Pep Guardiola's system, and despite his contract running until 2026, the club is not prepared to lose him before then, especially not ahead of another title-chasing season. Real Madrid are aware of the difficulty in pulling off the deal this year. If Manchester City continue to resist, the Spanish giants are prepared to play the long game. Should Rodri refuse to sign a new contract over the next 12 months, his value would naturally drop as his current deal winds down. By the summer of 2026, when only a few months remain on his contract, it is believed Rodri could be available for around $60 to $80 million, a much more manageable fee for a player of his stature. While the situation remains fluid, there is growing belief within the Real Madrid camp that Rodri could eventually be convinced to make the switch to La Liga. The allure of playing for the most successful club in European history, coupled with the chance to become the long-term successor to Toni Kroos, may prove irresistible. As always, Real Madrid are planning not just for the immediate future, but for long-term dominance. Whether the Rodri move materializes this summer or next, the club's intent is clear. They want to re-establish total control in midfield, and they're willing to make bold sacrifices to achieve it. Real Madrid are gradually shifting their focus in the summer transfer window from arrivals to departures, as new manager Xabi Alonso becomes increasingly comfortable with the squad at his disposal. With 4 new signings already added to the team this summer, the first-team roster has now reached its maximum allowed capacity of 25 players. This situation has prompted the club to actively evaluate potential sales, especially in positions where there is now an overload of options. One of the clearest areas identified for change is at left back. Alonso is currently overseeing plans to streamline the squad, and a decision has already been made regarding who will remain and who will depart. With the recent acquisition of Álvaro Carreras, who arrived this summer and is widely expected to become the starting left-back for the upcoming 2025-26 season, Real Madrid now have more options than necessary in this department. Carreras is considered a key piece of Alonso's tactical setup, with his attacking qualities and athleticism likely to make him a fixture in the starting 11. This development has major implications for the futures of Ferland Mendy and Fran Garcia. Fran Garcia had been linked with a potential move away, with Serie A side AC Milan among the clubs interested. However, that possibility appears to have cooled significantly. The former Rayo Vallecano man has made a solid impression recently, particularly during the FIFA Club World Cup campaign, where his performances seem to underline his value as a dependable squad player. As a result, Real Madrid have reportedly made the decision to retain Garcia, viewing him as the ideal backup to Carreras. According to reports from Spanish outlet Diario AS, both the club and Xabi Alonso are aligned in their stance that Garcia will not be allowed to leave this summer. Garcia, who turned 25 this year, is thought to be content with a supporting role, which fits well within Alonso's squad management philosophy. His willingness to accept limited minutes and still contribute when called upon has increased his importance in the eyes of the manager. Real Madrid appreciate his low-maintenance attitude and tactical reliability, and that has helped Garcia secure his place for at least another season. In stark contrast, Ferland Mendy finds himself in a very different position. Despite signing a new 3-year deal with the club not too long ago, Mendy now appears to be surplus to requirements under Alonso's new plans. The Frenchman, who turned 30 earlier this year, has had a tough time maintaining his fitness over the last couple of seasons. His injury record remains a concern for the coaching and medical staff, and that has cast doubt over his long-term viability as part of the squad. Compounding the issue is Mendy's reluctance to accept a secondary role. At this stage in his career, he is not open to sitting on the bench, and the presence of a younger, fit, and tactically favored option like Carreras makes the situation more difficult. As a result, a summer exit is increasingly likely. While Mendy does have admirers across Europe, a return to his native France is currently the most probable outcome. According to reports from Mundo Deportivo, Ligue 1 sides Marseille and Rennes have emerged as frontrunners in the race to sign the former Lyon defender. Both clubs are said to be optimistic about securing a deal at a friendly price, with the estimated transfer fee falling somewhere in the $10–15 million range. Real Madrid had initially hoped to recoup a bit more for the experienced left-back, but given his injury status and lack of interest from higher-paying clubs, they may be forced to settle for a slightly lower sum. In an interesting turn, AC Milan, after failing to land Garcia, could also turn their attention toward Mendy. With Theo Hernandez's departure opening up a vacancy at left-back, Milan are now in the market for an experienced replacement. Mendy could fit the bill if negotiations with French clubs do not move forward quickly. As it stands, Mendy's exit appears to be a matter of time, with Real Madrid's focus now squarely on making room for the next generation of talent.